Okay, I think it is recording. So I'm Corey Abraham. For those of you who don't know, I am going to be talking tonight about sharing the business opportunity. And I'm going to give you some very specific ways to do it, sort of a guideline you can follow that I think will help, especially if that's kind of a hang up for you and you don't really know how to do it. I'm going to just go step by step through exactly how to do this. And this is the thing. If somebody wants to talk fitness with me, I could talk to them all day long about it. That's my background, as a lot of you guys know. I have experience there. It's easy for me. I have a deep-seated belief system. And yes, that's what I was saying. Hello, forehead. That's what you get today. But anyway, if I move my computer screen, I lose the camera entirely. So it's really jacked up. Anyway, it's just a deep-seated belief system that I have. It's the nutrition and the fitness and all of that. So that's what I bring to the table. I didn't have that about the business. And it was just a matter of getting a lot of practice over the years of doing this thing that got me sort of, I wouldn't necessarily say good. I would say respectable. I still have work to do, but what we all have to understand is when we start this business, we don't know everything we need to know. We have a lot to learn, and we have to be able to be coachable and learn new ways to do things and understand that we have to do in order to get better. So we have to practice this a lot in order to get better. And there are some shortcuts and a process that I'm going to teach you tonight that hopefully will make it something that's more comfortable for you to, okay, I'm going to try to move to discuss. Okay, see, I told you guys, and I lost my screen. So now you just get probably my name. I don't even know what you get. But anyway, I'm just going to keep going. Okay, so talking about sharing the business, the first thing I want to do is talk about discount coaches. So I call them preferred customers. I don't call them discount coaches. I always call them preferred customers. I do not lead with the discount. If you know me, you know that I do not lead with the discount. I know it's easy, and that's why a lot of people do it, but I generally do not do it. I'm happy to make somebody a discount coach if that's what they want, if they've heard about it, or preferred customer rather, but I generally do not approach people about it. If they're in Shakeology for a long time, then I do, just to save them money, because I don't want them to be spending extra money when they don't have to, if they can save $16 a month or whatever. So I do tell them in those instances because I feel like that's the right thing to do. But if they are a new customer and they've not yet fallen in love with it, I never, ever, ever, ever present the discount coaching opportunity or the preferred customer opportunity. And the thing is, you see these people hitting diamond quickly, and then they fall out of diamond just as quickly. So you have a shell organization if that's what you're doing. So I do not recommend doing that, leading with a discount. This is the conversation that I would have with those people, and the thing that you need to understand yourself. They're not coaches, right? Like, you need to make that clear to them. You're not a coach. You're a preferred customer. I'm not going to treat you like a coach and expect you to be a business builder. I'm going to treat you like a preferred customer because that's what you are. Now, if circumstances change and you want to become a coach, then you let me know that, and I will teach you how to do this thing. I'll teach you how to do this business. We have a whole training program and, et cetera. You can go into all of that. But be clear, because our expectations, the issue is our expectations, right? We always we believe that they can be so much more than discount coaches. We believe they have no desire to be generally more than discount coaches. We just have this hope. We've heard these stories of discount coaches who turn into big business builders, yada, yada, yada. And so we are always hopeful that they want to do more. And that's okay, but they didn't sign up for that. So you have to treat them like challengers, treat them like preferred customers, still help them out, help them reach their goals, all of those things, just exactly like you would a customer. But you cannot treat them as a coach because that's not what they signed up for. So make sure that that's just clear. Like, you really have to set that expectation, especially within your own head, honestly. Don't treat them like coaches. You're just going to be disappointed. You're going to be out of rank all the time, and it's not a good place to be. Sometimes they do move to business builder. Sometimes they do. Do not treat them that way until they decide that on their own, because that is not why they're here. So they want a discount. What happens, what's really destructive, is when people recruit a lot of those discount coaches and then don't understand why they don't do anything. They fall in and out of diamond, like I said. And the value of a discount coach, assuming, is mute your lines, please, assuming that they are on Home Direct and they stay on it, which if you've been a coach for any length of time, you know that that is not the way it works, that they are, skipping months here and there or dropping it or canceling it or whatever. That's the reason that people fall out, is because people are canceling their shakes or delaying their shakes or whatever. The value is, it's 90 PV, every month, which isn't even a cycle. It's not even one cycle. So you need to just people as customers, unless they've been long time customers, then you can make them preferred customers. But don't treat them like active coaches, because that's not why they're here. And I'm not going to be talking about those people today. So today I'm going to be talking about the people you're actually looking to have as business builders. So there's a process I'm going to teach you, and I want you to write this down. I hope you have something to write with tonight. Find, invite, share, and sponsor. Those are your 4 steps. Find, invite, share, and sponsor. Write that down. I'm going to spend most of the time today on the invite. So find, I'm going to assume you have somebody you've already found. There are lots of videos on how to find coaches, what we look for, lots of training videos on that if you ever are on YouTube or anything else. It's pretty easy. This is the thing you have to remember, though. Your job is not to decide for them. Your job is simply to ask. Okay, this is really, really, really important. Your job is only to ask. When you understand that your job is simply to ask, this whole thing becomes way, way, way easier, and you'll feel a whole lot better about sharing the business. Your job, write this down, your job is to ask. That's it, ask. Write that really big, put a big box around it, whatever. Your job is to ask. So, number 2, where I want to spend my time, is the invitation process. You found somebody who you think would make a great coach. They are positive, they're encouraging, they have a desire to help others, they have good results in your challenge group, they have a great work ethic, they have a good network of people who trust them, they're credible, they fit in with your customer avatar or your coach avatar that we've talked about before. They're people you want to hang out with. They're people you like a lot, and just positive, encouraging people. You guys all have people in your friends list who you think, oh, that person would make the good coach. Maybe that's somebody who just wants some extra income for her family, doesn't love her job, wants to stay home, whatever it is. Those are all under the find, right? Okay, so those are all under find. But invitation process, this is where, like I said, we're going to spend our time. And I want you to write this next thing down. This is key to our whole discussion. This is key to your whole coach invitation process going forward. This is everything. I want you to write, if I ... would you? Write it down. If I, would you? Super important. Okay, now you have a couple of, I'm going to go over a couple different situations where you would invite someone. Let's say the first one is somebody you just met. You just met somebody for the very first time. I'm going to give the example of a lady I met when I was coming home from Summit last year. I sat on the plane with a guy.
It's not loud. I can't hear the woman.
Oh, sorry. Can everybody else, can y'all hear me? Nod your head if you cannot hear me. Okay, just making sure. Okay, so I sat next to somebody who sold Rodan & Fields, right? And I already have a person who I've used for that, a friend. So I wasn't interested in that business. Anyway, she sold Rodan & Fields, and she was asking me about what we were doing, what I was doing, where I was coming, where I'd just been, and all of that. It's just, general conversation you have on a plane with somebody. She wasn't really happy with Rodan & Fields. She liked the product, but she didn't really like the business aspect of it, and said her training wasn't very good, and yada, yada, yada. She kind of went into it. So I was just chatting with her really informally, and I said, if I sent you some information about my business, would you be interested in taking a look at it? Guess what? That counts as an invite. The invite is not spamming somebody with a link or saying, would you join my business? All it is saying, if I, would you? If I. sent you some information about my business because I talked about what I loved about Beachbody and all of that. She seemed very interested. If I sent you some information about my business, would you take a look at it? Would you be interested in taking a look at it? It's either yes or no, right? Very simple. Sometimes they wouldn't. If they wouldn't, so what? You know, it has nothing to do with you. You don't even know this person. It's totally a blind invite. So these are not the kind that most of us do very frequently. This is somebody I just met. So most of the time, that's not the person I'm going to invite, but it just kind of came up in the conversation. Where I want to spend my time tonight is talking about somebody you know, your current customers, someone who fits that avatar, one of the things I just talked about earlier. Have you ever, this is what you're going to ask, have you ever thought about becoming a Beachbody coach? You ask that for a very specific reason. Customers are pretty smart, right? So they've seen what you do. They've probably looked it up. They've Googled it, something. How did you become a lawyer to doing full-time Beachbody? You know, they probably know my story. If they're your customer, they probably know your story. They probably know how you did that. So if you said, have you ever thought about becoming a Beachbody coach? I can say with certainty, a very, very high percentage of those people are going to almost always say yes. So most of them have thought about it because they're smart, right? Two answers. Number one, they have thought about it and they say it's not for me. Oh, that's cool, right? I'm glad you thought about it. It's not for you. Wonderful. My job is to ask. Yours is to decide. If you are, or if they are, you send them the info. If not, that's totally fine, guys. This is the thing. Then what you would say next, you would say, just do me a favor. If that ever changes, just let me know because I'm going to be here. And if you change your mind, just let me know. And then you leave it alone at that. You completely leave it alone at that. Oftentimes they're testing you. Are you going to push them? Are you going to give them the hard sell? You know, when they don't act in accordance with the way you think they're going to have to act. Sorry, when you don't act in accordance with the way they think they're going to have to act to be a coach, they go, well, maybe I should take another look at that. When you're not pushy, they like that. They're like, oh, she didn't force me. She didn't keep on me about this. She didn't push me at all. So maybe if I'm a coach, I don't have to be pushy either. So a lot of times those people will turn around and come back to you and go, well, maybe I am interested. I've actually had quite a few who were initial no's, and then they changed over and came back and said, you know, upon further reflection, maybe I am interested in that thing that you're doing, or they just want to watch you longer. And that does happen, you know, if you leave the door open, which I always recommend you leave the door open. So no's are never, you know, hard no's. They're always not right now, as you guys know. But just, you know, leave it at that. Wonderful. Okay. My job is to ask. Remember, my job is to ask. My job is not to decide for anyone. So just divorce yourself from the outcome. Your job is only to ask. Your decision is your decision. So that's what you're going to say to that person. My job is just to ask. Your decision is your decision. And I'm completely fine either way with whatever you decide. It doesn't hurt my feelings. My job is simply to ask. Second scenario. They say, you know what? I have thought about being a Team Beachbody coach. Okay, cool. This is what you would say. Okay, cool. I think you'd be fantastic because, you know, whatever it is. I've been watching you. I've been working with you. You've gotten great results. Looks like you're really you're a great person. You'd fit right in with our team culture. You know, this is where you would fill in all the characteristics you see that you think qualify that person to be a good coach. So at that point, and that's where you would fill all that in. So that initial question is just short and sweet. Have you ever considered being a Team Beachbody coach? Yes or no? You know, if they have, most of them have at some point, and they're flattered generally when you ask either way, then you can tell them after that why you think they would be good. Awesome. I think you'd be so good because, you know, fill in the blank and be genuine. Don't make stuff up. Always, always, always be genuine. Genuine compliments go a long way. But then you say, this is the next part, and this is what I want you to write down. I don't, but I could easily write it out for you. If I sent you some information about our business and what it's all about, would you have about 8 minutes to watch a video? If I sent you some information about our business and what it's all about, would you have about 8 minutes to watch a video? At this point, most people will say, yes, sure, I have 8 minutes. You know, it's only 8 minutes. What I generally send is the introduction to Team Beachbody video in the library, in your video library, in your Coach Online office. You just click English because, well, that's what I speak. If you don't speak English, click Spanish or whatever language. I don't think we have other languages actually, except for those two right now, but it might be in French also, I'm not sure. But anyway, you click that, go to your video library on the bottom right, then it's under Team Beachbody and then General. I like that video. That's what we call a third-party tool. If you've done any of Eric Worre's trainings or anything like that, you've heard of a third-party tool. So that's a third-party tool. A third-party tool is anything other than you that tells a story. And so this is important for a few reasons. I'll get to these in a second. But it's really important to use a third-party tool. So it's anything other than you that's sharing a story, that's telling a story. Now the share, we're onto the share. So we did find, invite, this is share. This is the share part. When you send them the video, you need to know the video. So if you choose to send that one, Introduction to Team Beachbody, which is the one I usually send, just because it's short and sweet, it's professionally done by Beachbody, professionally edited, all of that. Don't send it unless you've watched it, okay? You need to know what's in it. So watch it a couple times, know what's in the video before you send it. Maybe you don't want to use that one, that's fine. But I would make sure whatever you send that you have watched. So that's what I send. And then the reasons you use a third-party tool, a couple of reasons. Number one, it makes you the messenger and not the message. That's important. It makes you the messenger and not the message. When you set up a call and you tell them all about the comp plan and all of those things that I know a lot of you have done in the past, you're implying that they have very, very, very much to learn. Most of us don't explain it all that well in the first place. I mean, a few people do, most of us really don't. Most of us are a little verbose. It scares them off. When people ask about the business opportunity, they're really asking just a couple questions. They're asking 2 questions. So we tend to overwhelm them when we get into all of that. It just scares them. So they're asking 2 questions when they ask about the business opportunity. Number one, do I want to be like the person inviting me? Are they relatable? Are they cool? Are they fun? Are they positive? Or are they pushy, bossy, inconsistent, salesy, whatever? So that doesn't really describe the people on our team, right? I don't think number one is a big problem for us. Number one, do I want to be like the person inviting me? I don't think that, you guys mute your lines, please. I don't think that's a big problem for us. Number two, however, is the next question they're asking. Can I do what they're doing, right? And this is important. Can I do what they're doing? If what you are is a human information distribution machine, people go, this is gonna be really hard. I don't know if I can do that. You're gonna overwhelm them. They're gonna look at you and think it seems like a whole lot to learn. It's really complicated. I'm not sure if I can do this. I'm not sure I have time to do this. You know, this is a thing. Everybody knows how to send a link. Everybody, right? Your brand new first day coach knows how to send a link. That's why you have to use a third-party tool. The intro to Team Beachbody is the message. You're just the girl who delivers it, or the guy, if there are any guys on our call. You're the person who delivers it. Everybody knows how to send a link, okay? But you don't want to overcomplicate it. It's super, super simple. They want to know if they can do what you're doing. Most of us can't explain the comp plan simply. We just can't. So I wouldn't even I always recommend people not get into the comp plan at all, but you know, that's what I start with, is intro to Team Beachbody, okay? Then the next step is a follow-up. This is easy, but write this down. Hi, so-and-so. Have you had a chance to review the information I sent you? That's it. Have you had a chance to review the information I've sent you? The reason, if I would you, is such a great way to start with people is because you have to get their permission, right? You get their permission. If they say no, they haven't had time, okay, that's fair, right? But I guarantee you, if they don't have 8 minutes, then they don't have time to go through new coach training. They don't have time to do their power of threes. They're not going to have time to do any of that other stuff. So they're probably not the best prospect. But you know, you give them one chance because maybe life got crazy and it was busy, because we all go through that. So I would just say, okay, great, no problem. When do you think you'll have time? So that's important. right? When do you think you'll have time? Then set it on your calendar to follow up. Maybe they say, oh, I'm so sorry about that. Things got really crazy last night. I should have time tonight. Then you say, great, I'll follow up tomorrow, right? But set a time, set that date. Don't go any farther until they've watched the video. Do not go farther until they've watched it. Okay, so if they still haven't watched it that next day, then they're just not interested, right? They're doing it to entertain you, to appease you because you're their friend. They're just not going to be a really great coach. So even if you think they will be, they're not at a point in their life where they're ready for that. You know, have you watched the video? Ask them again. Do you have time? If they say no, I would pretty much say, okay, then kind of not write them off, keep the relationship going, but I wouldn't continue to push it further because they're not interested. Then you just don't move on until they say yes. Number 2, if they have watched the video, you ask this question: what did you like best about the information you saw? Okay, write that down. What did you like best about the information you saw? And you got to listen very carefully to this answer because that's the direction you're going to go. It's going to help you focus the discussion. Different people get involved in the business for different reasons. Your job as a sponsor is to help, that person understand, or it's helped you understand why they're here and to help them get what they want out of it. And so you need to focus the discussion, figure out what they liked. Maybe they say, that summit thing looks amazing. Summit looks so cool. Then you're going to know, okay, they like community. They like to work out with a big group. You're going to know which direction to go. If they say, I just really want the opportunity to help people, that's what you're going to talk about. So whatever they say they liked best, that's where you're going to focus the discussion. So it's really important that you listen to that answer. So you ask them what they liked best about the video. So series of follow-up questions. Number 1, what did you like best? Number 2, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you? So what's your level of interest becoming a coach on a scale of 1 to 10, right? Okay, write that down. If it's a 10, it's rock solid, right then, ready to go, great, let's do this, sign that person up immediately. We have lots of training that's available to you. You can access all of that once you're signed up. Let's get you signed up. That's very rare, right? Very, very rare to have somebody at a 10 right out of the box, right out of the blocks. Most people are not there. They have questions. So you want to gauge their interest. If they give you a 1, a 2, or 3, you say, what would it take to move you a little higher on that scale? What do you need to understand or know to move you higher on that scale? And listen here. Ooh, I don't know what that was. Okay, hear this, please listen. Questions do not mean no, right? You should get excited. Get excited they have questions. When somebody's asking questions, they're really interested. If they said 5, they're more interested than that because they're asking questions. If it's a 2, they didn't like anything about the video, they probably wouldn't have agreed to watch it. If they weren't friends with you or whatever, then you can write those people off. If they're asking questions, they're interested, right? So you don't want people who are not asking questions. You want people who are taking it seriously. If they're asking questions, they're taking it seriously. If they're not taking it seriously, they won't be anything other than a preferred customer anyway, right? So you want people who are asking the questions. So don't shy away from that. It's okay if they're asking questions. The next question you need to ask, and this is a series of questions, so make sure you're writing these down. There's 6 total. That was number 2. Number 3, how much do you need to make? So basically like per month in order for this to be, great for you. How much do you need to make per month in order for this to be great for you? That's a great question for somebody who's a 5, right? How much do you need to make for this to be worth your time? And that's really important for you to find out. So you can discuss, be realistic, discuss expectations with that person. This kind of goes into number 4, which is how much time are you willing to invest? This is a business that takes time. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. For most people, you're trying to find out the amount that changes their lives, right? So for most people, that's only like $1,000 a month or $2,500 a month. Like something like that would be a really big difference. The mortgage payment plus, for somebody. Like that's an amount that would change someone's life. but you want them to understand that they're not going to get that in a month. You're going to help them understand that they're going to have to work hard, be there for a year from now, and do X, Y, and Z. And I'll get to that in a second. But then number 5, how long would you be willing to invest that time to make that money? If they say an hour a week and they want to make $1 million, then you need to have a come to Jesus with them and say, you're not going to get there in a year. You're not going to get there in 2 years. It's going to take time. If you only have an hour a week or an hour a day, even, it's going to take time to build to $1 million. It might take 5 years, it might take 4 years, whatever, maybe more. But so anyway, you just want to set expectations. How long would you be willing to invest that time to make that money? It's a business that takes time to get off the ground, to learn what you're doing. It's not automatic, and make sure they understand no one is prepared to do this thing on day one. No one. I don't care how smart you are. I don't care if you came from another MLM. I don't care if you are Miss Fitness USA. Doesn't matter. No one is prepared to do this, to have no one knows everything they need to know on day one to rock this business. They don't. It's a learning curve. There is a learning curve. It's a process. So it won't be an hour a day in month 1 to get $1 zillion. You're setting realistic expectations. You connect them to reality. Why do you do this? The important thing about this is because it grounds us. It makes us real. Making $1 million in a year would sound like a scam. It would to me, right? Would it sound like a scam if somebody was like, oh yeah, you can make $1 million doing that? I would think, okay, this is illegal. There's something off here. So it grounds you when you set expectations and you don't just say, oh yeah, I'll help you get there. Whatever they say, if you're not setting those realistic expectations, then you're not doing that. So this keeps us real, keeps them grounded. Keeps us grounded. Number 6, if I gave you a plan to make $1,000 a month or $2,500 a month or whatever their expectation was, working an hour a day, and you agreed to do it for a year with me, would you execute on that plan? If I gave you a plan to make $1,000 a month or $2,500, whatever they said, working an hour a day, again, whatever they said, that's my time slot, but whatever they said, and you agreed to do it for at least a year, would you execute on that plan? Are you coachable, in other words? Can you learn? So those are the questions I would ask. Those are the 6 questions. And then the last step is you sponsor. So find, invite, share, sponsor. Then that's when you plug them into the support systems we have. That's why we have all the systems we have in place, new coach training, all of that. So you start with if I, would you. That's the key. Hopefully you've seen that. That's the key to the entire process. If I, would you. You only ask. You are not concerned with their decision. You only ask, and you're not asking to the coach opportunity. You're asking if you can send them a video. That is all you're asking. If I sent you this information, would you watch it? If I sent you this video, this 8-minute video, would you watch it? That is all you're doing. Now, if you're new and you can't even answer those questions I just went through, if you're brand new, that's okay. This is what you say. I'm a little bit new to this. Be honest. You are, right? You're a brand new coach. I'm a little bit new to this. If I'm able to get someone, again, if I'm able to get someone who's more experienced and has done this for a long time on the phone with you, would you be willing to talk to that person? I can guarantee you that your diamond upline, your star diamond upline would be happy to do this, would be happy to have this call with you. You just say, I have a really good prospect. Would you be willing to do a 3-way call with us? Here are some of the questions they have. So just kind of prepare them before you just throw them on the phone with some of the questions that they might have. And then, like I said, the people above you are absolutely willing to do that. And if they're not, I'm willing to do that. So we can help you. And this is the thing. You listen to it once, right? And you're taking copious notes and you're listening really closely. And then the next time you have these questions, you can answer them because you've gone through this call and you've heard it all before. So that's just really important. You don't have to know everything. It's okay. But that's also a point when you can invite someone to the sneak peek or show them the business webinar or whatever. If they want more information, you've already gone through this stuff with them. Then that's when you can send them that extra information. But up front, you just want to keep it short and simple and send the invitation to Team Beachbody. So the invite, if I send you some information about the business, would you have about 8 minutes to watch it, right? You guys all have that in your brains now. If you ask that question to enough people, you will have plenty of people to talk to about the business, right? If the business isn't working for you, it's for one of 2 reasons, I guarantee you. You're leading with the discount, or you're sending links to people you don't have permission to send links to. So you're not having these honest conversations with people about the business. Neither of those things are ever going to help you build a nice, big Beachbody business. So practice, learn how to do this. It's very simple. It's a very simple system. Why I love it is because you can share it with your coaches and because it's duplicable. And that in network marketing, that's how we're successful. If we can teach our coaches to do the same exact thing. There's nothing complicated about this at all. It's a very simple system. If I, would you, then you have the follow-up questions. It's just very sweet, very short and sweet, very simple, right? Okay, and that is really all I wanted to talk about. Do you guys have questions? You need me to repeat something? Hopefully you wrote it all down. It's super, super, super simple when you do it that way. It gets really complicated when you're trying to do one-on-one phone calls with everybody and talk about the comp plan and the legs and all of that stuff. Like, it's too much. People are scared by all of that. And believe me, I've learned by doing. I've learned because I tried that. Any questions at all? You did such
Corey,
a great job explaining it. Yeah, who is this?
I have a question. How do you respond when people ask you how to make money or how you make money?
Oh, Sharon. Okay. I was trying to find who was speaking.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. So basically I talk about it at a very high level. So I'll talk about how we get paid to help people essentially, and help them get results. And so I'll say something like, you know, in the beginning it's retail, and then you're teaching, you build a team of coaches to teach them how to help more people, because you only have time in your day to help, you know, 5 people or whatever it is. But when you bring on a couple of coaches who've had great results in your groups or who love the products and who want to coach, when they become coaches on your team, then you each only have to help 3 people or 5 people or whatever it is. And so you do not get any money by signing up a coach. However, if your coaches succeed and are helping people, then Beachbody pays you a bonus. So that's basically what I say. So in the beginning, it's retail. It's primarily 25% of what anybody buys off of your site, the site that Beachbody gives you. But as you grow and you can't handle that many people, you can't help that many people at once, because most of us have either full-time jobs outside of this, or children, or, you know, our families, or whatever other responsibilities. Nobody really is doing this 100% full-time. So, you know, just I kind of talk about benefits of building a team at a very high level. I don't go into legs ever. I don't go into cycling or any of that stuff. Any other questions? Does that make sense?
It does. Thank you.
Okay. Hold on, let me read these messages. Okay, cool. Anybody else? I'm not going to keep you just to keep you. So if you think of a question, you can post it in our team page. I will post the recording, and then I'll try to write out the questions if it's helpful. To have like in script form. Amy asked for that. Would that be beneficial to you guys? Or did you take good notes? Okay,
that would be very helpful.
Okay, wait, somebody wrote it. Okay, Brittany wrote. Brittany took some good notes over here in the chat. You can also copy those. Yeah, I'll copy that and add to it. It's very simple. It's a very simple little outline, which is the beauty of it. Okay, let me copy it right now before I close out the chat, and then I'll just add to it. Okay. Awesome, guys. Thanks for joining. Y'all have a wonderful evening. And practice this, okay? Practice, practice, practice. That's how you get good. That's how you get better. Just do it. Good night.